Hello, crafty friends. This is the Papered Chef here. Welcome to part 1 of my Rustic Harvest workshop series. In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to create this card and this little diaper fold treat. But the focus of this tutorial is going to be an introduction to heat embossing. And I always like to teach things through examples. So we'll be creating these as examples. And then I'll show you another card I created as well. We're going to be using copper embossing powder, the Rustic Harvest Suite, some other coordinating Stampin' Up! Products, and let me think of it. Oh, heat tool. Okay, you need like this heat tool. So what I want to do right now is go over what's in the Rustic Harvest Suite with you, and then I'm going to share for what it looks like in the catalog. It's now available, which I'm really excited about because we had sold out of it and it just came back in stock. So I'm excited that it's available when I started this series. This series will be going on through the whole month of September and probably into October because I'm still not done my last workshop series, so these are overlapping. If you missed it, I just did part 6 of Season of Chic workshop series, and I taught you how to make these shaker boxes. So if you missed part 6, go back and check that out. I'll be sharing part 7 soon, which will be the conclusion of that series. This was my August workshop series, and I'll be full on, after that, I'll be full on to this workshop with the Rustic Harvest. Now, usually I just to focus a workshop series on a bundle, but this time I recommended the entire suite. And that is why I have a workshop kit this month, because this suite is so unique. It has tools, it has paper, what else? Little embellishments. It's a fantastic suite. The first thing in this suite is the Hello Harvest stamp set. It's a cling stamp set, meaning that it actually has rubber, like etched rubber, okay? I haven't even used all the stamps yet because I'm just getting started, but check this out. Look at the detail on that. So you can see that when it says cling, it means these have a cling material and they stick to your stamping block, okay? And I'm still putting the stickers on them. So we'll be using all of these in this series. And then they're coordinating dies. Either cut out the stamp or they're standalone. Like for this one here, there's a banner, and I'm going to show you the coordinating dies. That's also part of the suite. When you purchase the Hello Harvest stamp set and the dies together, you save 10% because you're getting bundle pricing. Let me get this without ripping. I always say I wish ScanNCut would use this kind of sticky material on their mats because this stuff that they put inside these die things, I'm always ripping my papers. Stampin' Up! Makes some awesome adhesive for holding these dies together. All right, the dies are pretty interesting because we can make 3D pumpkins. I'll probably give you a sneak peek of my 3D pumpkin I'll be doing in the series. So these pieces are to make 3D pumpkins. Well, not necessarily 3D, but like embossed pumpkins. And then the more dimensionals you use, the more 3D the pumpkins get. You can cut out the pumpkin in the stamp with this one. You can cut out this banner with this one, but you can also just put hello or this one inside the banner. But I like this one. And if you mask off this, you could just have a blank banner stamp. You can cut out the sunflowers with this one here and this little sunflower with this one. This leaf we'll use today. And this is the top of the pumpkin. And then you got these little whirly, swirly thingies, which are awesome. And they're just little swirlies to make little beautiful embellishments for your card. So that's the bundle. Now, before I show you these things, I want to show you what it looks like in the catalog. What I'm showing you is part of the holiday catalog. So let me show you what that looks like. And let me get this cool little tray that these things come in so you really get an idea. So this is called the Rustic Harvest Suite Collection by Stampin' Up! And when I say part of the holiday catalog, the actual name for this catalog is not holiday catalog. I just call it that because I'm old school. And it is called the July to December 2022 mini catalog. Doesn't it sound better when I say holiday catalog? That's what we used to call this. So it's just, this is the catalog, and then you open it up, and on page 48 and 49 is the spread for the suite. So I decided to use this suite to teach a technique this whole month, and it's the technique, and I'm going to be using many techniques, not just one, but one of the techniques I really wanted to cover this month is heat embossing, because heat embossing is a game changer. If you haven't tried heat embossing, you're just going to think it's magical. It's the most exciting thing to do because you can watch the ink just melt and transform. So in this suite, what's really cool about the suite is they have this little kit. It's called the Embossing Editions Toolkit. Now, we've been asking to have this embossing buddy back for ages because it retired, and I'm so glad the embossing buddy is back. Not that I ever got rid of my old embossing buddy, not that I needed a new one, but I needed these tweezers, this brush, and this tray. I love these tweezers. They're so heavy duty. I can't believe it. I'm so excited to share this with you. So I'm going to get out the tray or the packaging it came in. And if you hear my voice coming in and out, it's because some of you told me that my microphone was scratchy, so I'm trying to try a different method of sound. So here's the really cool packaging, and I'm going to put it all in there as I explain it. So first in this packaging is the embossing buddy. So that goes in this little thing like that. Now what it is it's like a powder, and we're going to rub it on our surface before we use our versamark to stamp in. Okay, so I'm going to actually explain how to use these as I teach you. These are really heavy tweezers. They look like they'd be just plastic or something. No, it's metal here, but plastic tips. Fantastic tweezers. Reverse tweezers. So when you squeeze open, not reverse tweezers, but we can they're like holding, you can use them to like help you tie ribbon. Is it reverse tweezers? I don't know. I can't remember the name of these kind of tweezers, but I love them for crafting, and I have other pairs, but this one is heavy duty. So they go in like that. And then they got this brush, a little paintbrush, and I have been using makeup brushes for years when I'm doing my embossing. And then, we have a tray to salvage our embossing powder without me using all the paper and trickery I've been trying to use. So we're going to salvage our embossing powder. I'll show you how to use that. Isn't that fantastic? Nice little tools. So if you're getting into heat embossing, you're going to need this heat embossing tool. So this is the embossing editions, but I'll get into the embossing tool in a moment because that's in this catalog, the annual catalog, and those will be our annual catalog. Goes from May till April 2023, and there's tools that you need in here to go along with this extra kit. But what I want to finish doing, because I'm on a roll here, is just show you the last couple products in this suite. So you saw how many things are in this suite. We already have this Embossing Editions Toolkit, and I showed you the stamp set and the dies. Okay, let's show you this little guy. This little guy is called these little ones are called the Leaf Label and Amber Gem Combo Pack. So we're going to use that today. You get these labels, the leaf labels. It says 50. And I guess then you get these on top. And I cut these. This is you actually get more than this. See, here's a little picture of what you get. But I was sharing them with my crafty friends in one of my kits before. There's no kit for this workshop, just so you know, because I wanted to make sure. I know my crafters are on a budget, and my customers seem to order from me about once a month. So I didn't want to like burden you with like a kit and this, because this is your kit. If you get this suite, you would have more than enough for a kit. My kits usually include a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But if you get this, you should be good to go. Then it has black cardstock in this suite. You get a whole pack. I'm not using this right now, but I just wanted to tell you, but because we've been asking for the 12 by 12 black cardstock to come back in because of, scrapbookers, what have you. Okay, so it's 12 by 12 basic black cardstock. You can order any of these items on their own too, one at a time. You don't have to order them as a suite. But then look at the designer series paper, and you're gonna flip out. It's very, very cool. And I have a little something else, so grab. Okay, so this is the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper, and the coordinating colors are Merry Merlot, Cajun Craze. See how this patterns go? Okay, Cajun Craze. Let's see what else is written under there. Crushed Curry, Mossy Meadow, Early Espresso, and Basic Black. Okay, so that's the one side. Now these are double-sided papers. So we can color the papers that are black and white, and of course we have the designs on the other side. Love this paper, super cool. Okay, I love this one here. I'm just moving some other things out of the way for a moment. Okay, and that would be the other side of this paper, right? And then we have these papers you can color, and I'll show you an example of how I colored this paper as a card background. Is that fantastic? And then you got this Cajun Craze on the other side. You have this, we can stamp right onto this paper. It is crushed curry, and you get this little acorns on the other side. And there's the piece of Mossy Meadow with the little swirly swirls and some plaid on the other side that we can color, and we're going to be doing that. Okay, so that's Rustic Harvest Suite. Now that I'm done showing you the suite, okay, and you can get that at my Stampin' Up store. We'll give you a link to that. Or the link is in the description of this video. Now I want to show you the other things that you go along with what we're going to be doing this month. When you're heat embossing, you need the heat embossing tool. Here's the Stampin' Up heat embossing tool. And then there's different things like this kind of versamark is the ink. I call it it's invisible ink, right? It's like you put it on and we put the powder on. We're going to get into all that. There's different kinds of powders. I'm going to be using in this series both current and retired powders. Just have one kind of powder. If you have all these powders, that's great. We have 6 powders for sale right now. The Basics collection of powders comes with black, clear, and white. The Metallics comes with copper, gold, and silver. I'm going to be using copper right now. You just need one color that's dark for what I'm showing you right now. And the Versamark. And there's your heat tool. So that is, like they said, the wow factor is an understatement when I show you this. And that's the annual catalog, and here's my store. Okay, now, I just recently launched a series, and the series is, not a series, a course. I did series too. I do series, I do courses. My workshop series are here on YouTube. My courses for ScanNCut are on Udemy. And one of the things we did in the Udemy course is I taught you in the Fall Projects course how to create these with your ScanNCut. And I just wanted to show you this basket of crafty goodness because everything in this basket was created using the Rustic Harvest Suite. And then I used a little stamp here from last month's paper pumpkin kit called Sweet Sunflowers. But this is how you color the Rustic Harvest paper. And everything in this little bucket of crafty goodness was made with the Rustic Harvest Suite. I teach you how to make these 2 projects here are original projects that I designed. You know, I showed you how to make the leaf cards and the tag treats almost from scratch. These are totally from scratch. I taught you how to make them. And then, well, I mean, we do have a stamp from this set. And then these are, I started with a leaf from inside of Canvas Workspace. So that's the crafty goodness made with Rustic Harvest. All right, now, let's do it. Let's get out. I have to get out all this stuff. I have a lot of stuff to show you. So let's put this here. This is going to be so we don't get my table messed up. And my heat tool's plugged in. We're going to get out the tray and get out all these again. I'm getting rid of the plastic now so it doesn't make a lot of noise. Okay, we're going to get out a piece of this design series paper. And the piece with what we want has the crushed curry on it. This piece here. So you want to get a piece that's light because we're going to emboss right onto it. And then we also want to emboss onto these little leaves. And maybe I might just start with the little leaves because I like to have a quick success and something very easy. So we might start with just the little leaves. And I'm talking about the leaf amber thingy that I was just showing you. I don't know how in 2 seconds it disappeared. Here it goes, here it goes. We need these. So we're going to stamp onto these so I can show you how to do this little guy. We'll put together the projects at the end or maybe even later because the important thing about this tutorial is that you learn to heat emboss. So if you learn to heat emboss, putting the cards together is a secondary goal of mine today. And we can always put the cards together throughout the series. And my peeps know how to put the cards together, hopefully, from all the series I've been teaching. All right, so let's do this. Let's go. So we're going to take your embossing buddy. Now, it kind of has like some kind of powder in it, probably like talcum powder or something. See how it's getting it like white? You want that. You want to brush whatever you're doing with the embossing buddy before you emboss. Okay, so it helps. I'm going to just, I'm going to put a little powder there and rub it around. It helps when you put the embossing buddy on your paper. Now, not only does it get rid of the static and everything, but when you put your powder on, it makes the powder stick in the right places and not in the wrong places. But if it does start sticking in the wrong places, we can brush it off, or we can either brush it off, or we can like tap it off, or use our little tweezers to get it off. Let's get our copper embossing powder. That's this here. And I'm gonna use this too because I don't want embossing powder all over my house. So we're gonna put that here. And I need a little rubber silicone mat for stamping, for under here because that'd be good. So we have a good surface. Silicone. silicone mat. All right, here we go. So we're going to stamp in Versamark. Versamark is like that invisible ink I told you about. So we'll just stamp. We're going to open up the Versamark. And throughout the series, whenever we get low on this, I can show you how to refill it and everything. We might even get low now. We'll see. I don't see how good it is. We're going to take get yourself a little spoon for your embossing powder. Okay. We're going to open up the copper embossing powder. It's a 1/2 ounce jar. This is copper. See the color? It's like a dark brown. Now, I also like to mix embossing powder, so maybe we'll also cover that. You know, because I like ones with more bling in them and that kind of thing. Let's take out the stamp we need. Right now, we're going to start with hello to have a quick success. Well, let's do this. Hello stamp. You're going to take your stamp and you're going to face it upright like that with this cling sticker, right? And you're going to just mount it onto a stamping block like that by pushing the stamping block onto it. Now we're going to tap, tap, tap. And I'll just stamp off on you can't see anything. It's invisible ink, right? But I still like to tap off onto the mat just in case. It's invisible and it's also sticky. And I'm going to stamp onto my little leaf. Okay. Now we're going to put the powder on it before it dries. See that? Like I said, it's invisible because you can't see it unless I do it at that angle. Almost invisible. Okay. Let's take our tweezers off for a second and our little brush. Take our lid away and we're going to take our embossing powder. And we're going here, let's put that. This is an important thing. Put your lid back on your Versamark for now. And you're going to take your embossing powder and I'll just leave it there for now. I'm just going to take some and you're going to pour it on your leaf. And it didn't make it all the way. It needs some on that side. Now what I do, looks good to me, right? I turn it around after you pour it on there and I go tap. I just flick it off with my, oh, that's good. Okay, I'm going to flick it off. Now, once you do this, I always talk about mass production, friends. We're going to just leave that there. I mean, I would probably do this 100 times if I was really just crafting. I wouldn't just do one. Okay, let's do it again. But you do want to put the powder on before the Versamark dries. But you can then heat set them later. Just going to do that. Okay, we're doing another one. Okay, you can check that it's good. I'm just going to do that. Okay, good. Turn it around, flick it off. All right, now, this is the magic. Magic. Move your embossing powder away. Trust me on this one. Oh, I just messed that one up. Okay, see? This is what I mean. We're going to do that one more time. Move your embossing powder away because you could accidentally heat up your whole jar of embossing powder or you could blow the air from the embossing tool onto it. And next thing you know, your powder goes everywhere. It's happened to me, I don't know how many times. I can't even count how many times I've blown my embossing powder all over the place because I forgot to turn off my heat tool. Not turn off. Forgot to close this, which I'm closing, and I'm putting it over there. Putting that over there. All right, good. Now we need our little fancy tweezers. We're going to go like this. We're going to hold the tweezers like that and watch the magic happen. Do we have good light? Ready? Here we go. Watch as the technique is circular motion. So watch. I'm going to turn it. This is one that's low. Don't use low. I'm going to use high to get it done quick. And I'm going to do this circular motion. Now, just watch. Let me make sure my camera's in focus up here. I'm going to focus it up on the hello. Hopefully that focuses. And you can just watch this happen. Okay, we're going to tilt it a little bit. You're going to see it melt and transform. It gets shiny. Do you see it? Do you see it doing it? Oh my goodness, I love it. And this never stops exciting me. It never stops exciting me. Look how cool that is. So if you don't already heat emboss, you could do this to any sentiment. And then I do this for good measure. I go like this. Okay, it's already good, right? That's enough, right? But I always do that a little bit for good measure. Okay, now, once you have that done, you're good to go. So you don't need to, that one's done. It's ready to embellish. And it's not hot or anything. Now, other people emboss sometimes up from the bottom. Now, Stampin' Up! Paper holds up well under heat. But if you have paper that's cheaper, it doesn't hold up well under heat, you could heat from the bottom, like heat emboss from the bottom. I'm just going to do this one more time. Oh, and let's compare, by the way. Let's do this. I like to do this when I'm teaching embossing in my card classes. I always say, now look, before and after, right? Before, and after. I mean, there's no comparison. That is so cool. Okay, let's do this. Now I'm just going to kind of do it further away like I would normally do it. I was just trying to put it really close before so that my crafty friends could see it transform. But typically I go further away from my camera down toward my table a little bit. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Denise. Denise is saying it's like magic. It is. I absolutely think it's magical watching it heat up. All right, if you love this craft color, by the way, we have what's called weekly deals at Stampin' Up. And there's a couple things made from, there's like craft note cards and craft treat boxes and stuff made of craft. These aren't 20% off, but those two items I just mentioned are. There's a bunch of items that are 20% off. All right, so isn't that cool? Now then you add your little ribbons. We'll go ahead and we can just do that just to take a break from embossing because I know you guys are like, oh, the sound, right? You might be worried about the sound, but that's because it is loud. But hey, I'm just keeping it real. So when I measure a ribbon, or when I don't measure a ribbon, I should say, when I never really measure ribbon, I just go like this with whatever stamp set's around. I just go like this. So if I want to make a bow, I just go diagonal across the nearest stamp set. Boom. And I measure my ribbon. Or I could have eyeballed it. I probably didn't even need to do that. I've done this so much. Now the ribbon I'm using, I'm not sure if it's still on clearance, but I got this on clearance and it's Mossy Meadow. Braided linen trim. So it was really cheap on clearance. I bought a couple rolls of it and I was glad because Mossy Meadow is a coordinating color. So we'll tie one with the braided linen trim and I tied 2 knots and then I frayed knot, then I fray the ribbon. Okay, we're like that and you're going to tie. I just double knot it because it's so thick. Otherwise it just kind of comes right undone. And then I tie a bow in my kindergartenish way, but it works. 2 bunny ears around each other. Okay, and I could have used, by the way, those tweezers help you tie knots on ribbon, but it's more just like if you're trying to tie it around like a box or something. Okay, then you can fray the ribbon. It's pretty cool to fray it on both the bow and the ends. So like that and like this. Because it's braided linen trim, so it's meant to look like frayed and rustic, and I think it just goes with the suite really well. Not only because of the color, but because of the type of product it is. Okay, and so that is how you can fray it. And then, I fray it some more. Just make it all frayed. And then this part in the middle. And then here's what it looks like. See, after you fray it. Like that. So I was going to look for that linen thread. You could do it with linen thread too. Not the fraying part. I'm talking about the tying part. So always tie something on these because there's a hole there. Unless you're going to hide the top, because there's a hole there, these are meant to be tags. And let's make that thing again. Let's make that distance we need. So this one is currently available. It's not retired. This one is on the clearance, or it was on the clearance. This one is currently available. It's called Linen Thread. So you'll see me introduce new products all the time. And I use this stuff all the time. I have a couple rolls of it handy. It's just really good for putting on my fall cards and my fall projects. So I'm just tying another knot. And you could fray the ends of this one too, but it's just easier to fray the ends of the braided linen thread. Or no, Mossy Meadow braided linen trim. Okay? And then you could put the little bow there. So either way, got to put something on there. You could put a ribbon of any kind. Maybe, you know what would be cute, I think, with this suite is the gingham, black and white gingham ribbon. All right, so let's keep going. We're going to emboss onto designer series, heat emboss onto designer series paper. Okay, let's do some leaves and some sentiments. Now, always these bigger sentiments are easier and the leaves are easier. So because the leaves are easier, I'm just going to take this off. And the way you clean it, by the way, is the way you clean any stamp. Just, you know, all the techniques I showed you. Stampin' scrub, baby wipes, what else? What's that thing called? I forget what that thing is. Like, it's like a ShamWow, but it's not a chamois, simply chamois. Anyway, now we're going to take this little stamping block and we're going to put the leaf on it. And we're going to emboss some leaves. And then we'll do, so we need a couple leaves for this project. But we need one, well, I think we need 3 of them. We're going to go like that. And we're going to tap, tap, tap into the versamark. Tap, tap, tap. Just tap onto your mat just to make sure. Okay, and we're going to get out this piece. I've already put, oh, now I can't remember which side I put the embossing buddy on. So let's review that. You need to put the embossing buddy before you emboss. It makes the powder stay in all the right places. And I forgot if I even tapped. So I'm going to tap. Okay, tap. Because I need 3 or 4 for my projects. So we'll just go ahead and do 4. Okay, so you're like, how do you even see what you're doing? I just know where it's at. It's kind of hard because it's invisible ink. You're like, what is she doing? All right, let me hold it up to the light and maybe you can see it. Well, no, not yet. Okay, just get that powder on there and then you'll be able to see it. So we're going to get our little spoon. Just try to use the powder from here, right? First, before you keep emptying the jar, because you got to get this all back in the jar. And I'll show you how to do that. It's part of my little workshop here. I explained that. So I'm just putting it on. Don't touch it don't touch your little spoon to the paper. Just kind of let it roll on there. Let it roll over the paper. Yep, that's good. Now here's where my little tricks come in. So you see how there's that little bit got stuck right there? Well, it's okay because I'm die cutting. This piece I'm die cutting, so I'm going to be die cutting around the leaf. But say this was a sentiment and there was this little black piece there, that little spot. Well, what I would do is take your little tweezers, or I have a Q-tip handy, or your little brush, and you want to get that all off because that's going to heat and it's going to stick wherever there's powder and you heat it up, it's going to stick. So you might want to get your little brush. That's what I do, and I get rid of all the extra powder. And now let's heat and emboss all these at once. You still need your little tweezers because, and let's move, okay, put the lid on the embossing powder. I put the lid on the versamark. I've moved the embossing powder way over there. Move the stamp. I'm moving everything that might start flying away. Only, believe me, I've spilled so much embossing powder, and I have blown so much embossing powder away and all over the place. And I've even packed it up without tightening the lids and getting it all over when I went on trips. Okay, I'm just embossing the leaves now. Lovely. Now you can see this one's done. You can see that, they see the color of it now? How cool is that? But you see the other one got some heat just from the side, so it's halfway done already. This one's halfway done. You can tell it already got heated, so we'll just go around the other side. And you might have a better angle than me. I'm looking down at the paper and you're looking through the camera, so you might have a different angle than me, but I kind of see it transforming, so it's pretty cool. Lovely. Okay, great. Now let's cut this up because it's going to be easier to put through the die cutting machine. Meaning I'm just going to cut it like this, just with these aren't the same as my Stampin' Ups. These are my Stampin' Up snips, and these are more like for the dull things. So I'm just going to cut a piece off. Now we're going to do the sentiments, a couple sentiments. And now we can die cut that, and we can die cut these next to each other. So let's do, it's a little embossing buddy. Embossing buddy, it's my buddy. A little bit of powder coming out. If you have to, just kind of get the powder to come out. Come on, see? Poof. Okay, now, versamark. And now we need, not get rid of, but remove the little guy, the little leaf, and let's pull out, lovely something here, loveliest. Wishing you the loveliest day. Okay, pull that one out, mount it on there. Okay, and by the way, I'm using Stamping Block H for this whole tutorial. Tap, tap, tap. Sometimes I just go onto this mat just to make sure I have good coverage, which I do. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Now, because I can't see this one at all, I'm going to go ahead and put that embossing powder on it. I don't even know if it's on that side. See? Totally invisible. It's like, where are you? Huh. I must have done this. I wonder how that got there. I don't remember even doing that. That's weird. I just got this paper out of the package. Maybe I didn't get it out of the package. Maybe it's one I did earlier and forgot all about it. Lovely. Now, you might be saying, oh, it doesn't look that crisp yet. Well, it's not that crisp yet because, no, now it's gone. Where did that other one come from? Huh. I'm not even sure how that other one got on there and then it disappeared. Lovely. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just getting rid of any excess powder because it'll heat in the wrong places. All right, let's do it. Let's heat this up. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this. All right, closing this, moving powders away, putting this on the tweezers, heat embossing the sentiment. So now watch the sentiment transform. I'm on heat setting level 2. You can see the 2. That's high. Circular motions. I usually do it down lower with my silicone mat behind me. It just keeps the paper from curling as much when I do it down low. But I do at the same time want you to see it transform because it's pretty cool when it does. Okay. See that? Copper is awesome. Okay, so there we go. I think for good measure, I like to, even when I'm done, just sort of go around and make sure that I really got it. Now, I'm all done, and then, unless we mess up our die cut, but we're not going to mess up our die cut. So let's take out, oh no, let's not. Let's show you how to put the, let me decide. Do I want to show you how to put the embossing powder away? Because if Murphy's Law holds true, I show you how to put the embossing powder away, and then something will happen with our die cut. However, if I don't put this away, our die cut will be perfect. So let's do the die cut. See what happens. So we're gonna lift up this, and I'm gonna show you the ScanNCut and emboss machine. We're using the bigger one. It opens up like this. We have 2 sizes of ScanNCut and emboss machines. So this would be the bigger one. It's also the one I recommend you get in your starter kit. Pretty cool. The sandwich for cutting is, you need base plate number 1. Okay, when you're die cutting. Sandwich for die cutting, I should say. Metal dies. We need the thin die adapter, which is base plate number 2. Put that down. You need 1 plate number 3. And then you need to put your die cutting, like materials like this and this. And then you need plate number 3 again. So what we're going to do is take our, I have this really cool tape. It's like a Post-it tape. And I'm going to use that to help me hold the dies in place. Okay, so here it is. I'm just going to put this little piece there. It keeps my paper from ripping. So I'm going to grab the dies, and we're going to use this die, this one here, and we're going to use this die here. So the dies we're using are this die for the banner, and then the die for the leaf, okay? Just in case you're watching this from somewhere else and you can't see what I'm pointing to, okay? So we're using that. I'm going to tape it on. And you must heat set this before you die cut it, okay? You must heat set it first. You can't run it through the machine. There'll be powder all over the place, and it would never work. So we're heat setting it, then we're die cutting it. And we're holding the little tape is holding it in place. Like that. And this is Post-it tape so it doesn't rip your paper. You can use washi tape as well. And then there's the plate. Top of the sandwich is plate number plate number 3 again, and we're rolling it through. And we need a couple of these leaves. La la. See that? That's because we didn't put our embossing powder away. We have our perfect banner. And we just need to do a couple more leaves. Okay, put that there. So you just keep on doing more leaves. You can use the same tape over and over again. I wish they would have given us more leaf dies. They only gave us one. Same in the season of chic. I use that leaf all the time. Hey, that leaf coordinates with this leaf too. They're both sort of like abstract kind of. So I need, for this project, let me look at my project I'm making. We need 1 leaf for this project that we're going to make. We're going to assemble. And we need 2 leaves for the card. So we need 3 of these leaves die cut. Okay. And my machine's not flat, but it's okay. We're getting there. And then I have another project where I use 2 more leaves that I'll show you that coordinates with what we just did. All right. Perfect. Lovely. And we need 1 more. Then I'll save the last one for later. Okay, this one's a little nicer. We'll use this one. So that copper is really cool because you have the brown leaf for the copper. It's also 3D because it's like shiny, right? But then you have the texture of this cool little crushed carry piece of designer series paper behind you. So I just think it looks nicer than trying to just do it straight onto cardstock. Let me show you the difference between the crushed carry. I was doing stuff earlier with the crushed carry cardstock I have left over from my ScanNCut course, right? And I just thought when I tried this, and I have a sample, I think, to show you. When I tried this crushed carry cardstock, it didn't look as nice as this crushed carry piece of designer series paper. So that's why I ended up doing it that way. Now, while we're here at this die cutting machine, I'm done with the leaves now. You put those all into your bucket of crafty goodness. You've heard me talk about that. Save the tape as long as you can. And then put your die away, or your magnetic bowl or whatever. Now, what I have are these little curly cues. And I've been using these in these cards I made, my samples. Okay, this is save this and cut it out later, just to save time. But what you need now is a piece of something that's in a different suite. And it is called Distressed Gold Cardstock. Those of you in my Texture Chic workshop have this Distressed Gold Cardstock. And those of you that are those of you that are watching me on YouTube know exactly what I'm about to do with the Distressed Gold Cardstock. You probably know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a sticker. We're going to take the sticker sheet. It's called adhesive sheets. And we're going to flip this Distressed Gold Cardstock over and take this piece of double-sided adhesive sheet, and we're going to die cut our die cuts and make stickers. It's just a fantastic technique. So you're going to put the little sticker down there. And there's still an extra little piece of sticker right here. We'll rip that one off and we'll put it, just going to put it up in the corner. And these come in a pack of 10, I believe, or 12. And I'm not sure. No, they're 12 inches by 6 inches, and there's like a pack of 10. There could be a pack of 12, but I think it's a pack of 10. And you can and then you just cut them apart the size you need them. You put them on back of whatever paper, cardstock, whatever you want to cut. And then you cut out the little piece that has the sticker stuff on it. Not with your good Stampin' Up! Snips, but with your scissors dedicated to getting dull. Not dedicated to getting dull. Dedicated to cutting things so they don't get dull. All right. Now, what I've done is this is a double-sided sticker sheet. It's an adhesive sheet. I put it on my Distressed Gold cardstock. This side is still going to peel off and turn into a sticker. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do this. With these little curly cues, swirly thingies, swirly whirlies. I'm putting them right like that, okay? Now these little swirlies will be stickers. Looking for the lid. Maybe it's under there. Here it is. So that you need the sandwich as plate number 3, and then you need the other plate number 3 on top. And you're going to make your little stickers. So these are not stickers because I didn't make these into stickers, these leaves, or this one, because I want to pop these up with Stampin' Dimensionals. These ones are stickers because I'm not popping them up with Stampin' Dimensionals. They're going to stick right on this thing, okay? Now, how are we doing on time? Perfect. We have plenty of time. I like my videos to be less than an hour, so we're going to now assemble the projects. We have everything we need. We have our stamps. We have our die cuts. We have our stickers. I can move this die cutting machine away. We're done all the die cutting. We're done all the stamping. We're done all the embossing. You would do all of this stuff over and over, filling your bucket of crafty goodness, like all the things you need, right? I'm just going to put some stuff away here, putting this die away. And then as soon as you have everything you need, you would assemble. But of course, we have to put our embossing powder away. I'm just trying to get these out of the die. So sometimes you just drop them and they come out like that. These came out, or you could poke them through with what's called the take your pick tool. So you assemble all your little goodness, crafty goodness that we've done. Look at all this fun stuff we did just in this tutorial. And you just gather and you make yourself a little bucket of stuff that you need. Okay. So we talked about, I'm going to put those little things away, these little metal things away. And I'm going to show you how to put the powder away, because that's part of the heat embossing technique. These go in here we go. These go in here. Now, so they don't fall out, you should put these on a magnetic sheet. So maybe by the next video, you'll see me have these on a magnetic sheet. And you could also use a little magnetic bowl to hold things like in place. All right, so versamark. We'll refill that maybe in a future video. Versamark, I'll show you how to refill it. Or maybe later. Maybe we'll refill it later. It just depends on time. But let's put the powder away. So we open up our little copper container, turn this around, and watch this. You're going to take this little cap off. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, and check this out. So first tap, tap, tap a little bit with your spoon. Okay, and then I'm just vibrating it, getting it down there. Then you just use your little brush, and voila. Can you guys see that? Woo! Look at it come out, the little hole, filling my container. You know how much embossing powder I have lost over time by having to use pieces of paper that I fold and then try to get everything back into the jar? This little tray is amazing. And then if you were going to use this again, you don't have to clean your tray. But if you're going to now use white embossing powder, of course, go wash this out. Well, but don't just wash in your sink, because you don't want to clog your sink with embossing powder, right? So you would get a paper towel, wipe out the powder. There it is. I think I got it all. You're going to wipe out the powder, and then you just wash this with water in your sink, right? But wipe out as much powder as you can before washing it. Ba-boom. Done. Done. And I'm leaving it like it is. I'm not washing mine because I'm going to use the copper powder again, because I'm in the middle of doing a lot of fall projects. The embossing buddy, I will put back in. There's a little bag. Well, there's one that yours came in a different kind of bag. This is what they used to come in. The embossing buddy came in like this bag. So I put that in there. And voila. That's how to use embossing tools. I'm going to see if there's questions. And Bananas is here. Hello, Bananas. I'm just saying hi. And also just checking out what's going on in the thread. Hello, Pat. Hello, Yvonne. I'm glad you I'm glad you liked this series. Well, this stuff was out of stock and now it's back. So I'm so happy to be starting this series when you can actually get these products. So hello, Gail. Thank you. Denise. Hello. Okay, reverse. Cross lock tweezers. Ooh, fancy name. Fancy name. Okay. Denise, I called them reverse tweezers, so that is one name. She said that is called reverse tweezers. And I'm just so used to only having tweezers that when you squeeze, they open, that I forgot that wasn't the normal way. And she said they're also called cross-lock tweezers. Ooh la la. I'm going to have to do like something, but I title that. Yeah. Yes, we are live, Hilda. Hello, Hilda. And hello, Linda from StampCut and Create. Hello, Karen from Arizona. Yep, Denise is saying that it's magic. And Linda's coming here to us from Florida. Oh, it's your favorite metallic color, Yvonne? That's pretty cool. I love the way the silver works, and I used to have a lot of glittery powder, so I like mixing glittery powder with these to make them more metallic, but that's very cool. Hello, Tori. All right, let's just do this. We're going to I should have already made your card base, okay? Okay, here's what I was talking about. You need a bucket of crafty goodness to keep all your stuff in. So we need We need a piece of crushed curry. I've already made this part. So it's an A2 card. So what you're going to do, we're not doing the scoring right now because this is about embossing, right? We have more times where we do card making. You're going to take this piece of paper, an 8.5 by 11 piece of crushed curry. You are going to score it at 5.5. You're going to then turn it, put it on your trimmer, and cut it at 4.25, giving you an A2 card that is 4.25 by 5.5. Actually, I'm sorry, it is when it's finishly folded, but it's really 11 by 4.25. But when you fold it, it's 4.25 by 5.5. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. We can probably even make 2 at once. All right, let's take these pieces. Well, we can just do one. We're going to take this little piece and this little piece. So what you want is about, these are going to overlap a little bit. We're going to take, now normally, let me just kind of go, if you have a piece of card, a piece of designer series paper, you're going to put it like that, and it would be, this little piece is going to be 5.25 by 4. But what you're going to do is you're going to cut these in half, about half, but you can be like, like say 2.5 or 2.75, right? You just want a little piece of this, and you're going to just mount it onto your card. So I hope that makes sense, because we're going to use 2 kinds of paper for this card. So about 2.5. And then don't worry about the middle, because we're covering up the middle. So let me give my little seal plus. All right, so we're going to put that on the card. So go ahead and put some Seal Plus on it and put it on the card. Okay, it's about 2.5 by 4. And we're just going to mount that onto the card. Let's make sure the card's really opening the right way and all that good, and all that jazz. All right. All right, good, good, good. So let's grab a pen before we get too lost. All right, we have, why am I saying 8? Well, okay, 8.5 by 11 paper, okay? And then but then the card makes 2 cards, right? All right, because I didn't really mean to write 8. So your card is actually 11, right? 11 inches by 4.25, okay? That makes sense? That's the card. Now, the layers. Whenever I make card, I always talk about how to make the card base, how to make the layers. So we'll say card base. How to make the layers. We're going to say 4 inches times 2.5, even though they might be 2.75. You can just say by 2.5 to make it simple, okay? Let us 2 pieces. Times you need 2 of those. You need two layers. Now, don't put this one on your card yet. Let's put it here and color it with the blending brushes. Any colors, any coordinating colors are going to do, but I will show you my card so you know what we're making again. If you missed it or you came in late to the video, we're making this card. I'll have another example too of how I colored some things. So let's use this one, Cajun Craze and some crushed curry, but any coordinating colors will work. Okay, Cajun Craze and crushed curry. So we want to take our, let's see, we'll just use one of this blending brush, Cajun Craze. Okay, open up the Cajun Craze. Flip open the stamp set. Put some ink on your stamping block, any stamping block, doesn't matter, like that. Dip your Cajun Craze into it. Tap onto your mat. And just start making circular motions. Tap, 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 tap. Circle, circle, circle. Tap, 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 tap. It's just so you're only tapping onto the mat so this big blob of ink doesn't go right onto your paper. Close the crushed curry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Close the Cajun Craze. This is Cajun Craze. This is crushed curry, just so you know. Open up the crushed curry. Okay. I'm just using the other side of the stamping block. Put some crushed curry on your stamping block. Put some crushed curry on your mat. I'm right-handed, so I'm just kind of coloring on that side. Okay, and that's how you color paper. Why leave it the boring gingham pattern? Why not color it in some fall colors? Close your crushed curry. Put your stamping block away. All right, so that's good. Now we're going to mount that onto our card. And let's see how I mounted the other one. Let's find that paper. Or fine, I'm looking for the card. Here it is. Okay, I mounted it with crushed curry on that side, which you'll just do that. Okay, fine. That will work. Seal plus. It doesn't matter if the papers overlap because we're covering up the middle section. So 2.5, 2 3/4, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put it on this side. Actually, let's see. Maybe, you know what? I might just put it around the other side just to see what happens. Like that. Just to make them each a little bit different. Each card will be a little different. So we're mounting that. So altogether, you still have what's called, you still have your layers, which are 4 1/4 by, or 5 1/4 by 4. All right, so now we need these little strips of paper. So we need this one, which I've already cut for you. Should be right over here. Let's look for it. All right, it looks like I got to cut everything again because we need a tutorial for myself on organizational skills. Okay, that's what we need. All right, we're going to just cut the piece we need. So we need a piece that's 4 by 1.5. Grab the trimmer. All right, all the little pieces cut, but oh, well, it is what it is. We're going to go 1.5. 1.5 inches. Boom. Okay, it looks like my little, oh, I'm sorry. There's an opal round stuck in my trimmer. I was like, why is it not cutting? There's an opal round stuck right in my trimmer, keeping the blade from touching the end. Now I got to make it slightly smaller. All right, good. All right, 1.5. We'll use this side. I'm going to have to make it slightly smaller than 1.5 because my opal round was hitchhiking. Let's just trim that off because this paper has a white inner core, so it gets all funky if it's not trimmed real nicely. Okay, let's see. There we go. 1.5, back to that, by 4. Why 4? Because that's the size of our card. 4. Right? So we'll put that across our card. See that? 1.5 by 4. Now, I'll write it down for you. Then we're going to take this one, and it's 1 inch. Well, let's see. I made that one. This one's 3/4 of an inch. All right, got to cut that one again. So much for being prepared. We're gonna take a piece and make it. We're gonna make it go this way, right? So we're gonna, so the little stripes show better, and we're gonna make this 1 inch by 4. Now, typically, I would cut a lot of these pieces at once, which I did earlier, and I don't even know where they're at. They're already buried on my table somewhere. But that'll be good because I can put together other cards pretty quickly later. So you have a 1 inch by 4. Oh, my goodness. How did that happen? Oh, that's the wrong one. That's why. Okay, here we go. 1 inch by 4. This was just an extra scrap. I'm like, where did you come from? And then that's going to go on our card, right? So we're just making a little layer there, extra layers for your card. It's nice because it'll help the sentiment stand out. Right, so we're going to mount these together with, see, because the one's 1 inch and the other one's 1.5 inches, you got that really beautiful distressed gold cardstock. Distressed gold cardstock sticking out. Lovely. And now we got to find the card that we started. Is it under there? There it is. Okay, we're going to put this right on the card. So let's write the measurements down so you can see what we're doing. We're going to say that the distressed gold, and then we're going to say Rustic Harvest, so you know what. Okay, Rustic Harvest DSP. That's the name of the suite. So this one is distressed gold is 4 inches times 1 1/2 inch, and this one is 4 inches times 1 inch. But you could go with 3/4 of an inch because we saw that I did that earlier, and it looked kind of cool too. There we go. We're going to mount that. Right on top. And see, it didn't matter if this overlapped a little bit because we're covering it up anyway. Okay. Voila. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to pop it up with dimensionals, but not until we put some really cool stuff behind it. Some linen thread. Some of this little guy. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put this, I'm going to cross my card like that and cut a little piece off. It should be long enough. I'm going to take this and just cut a little piece and sort of just make a little knot in it. So this is linen thread. We're just trying to make extra little things for dimension behind our sentiment. Makes our sentiment look cooler. So we're tying that up, and we're going to just tie the knot. Okay, and I'm just trimming off. So this little knot, I'm hiding the knot. I'm just kind of putting it like, I usually just kind of cross it over. So I go like this. I put a little piece of it dimensional there, and I just sort of tie the knot. Put the knot under there. Okay, so that's kind of just something behind there. Can you guys see that? Hopefully. Just putting a little piece of paper behind there. And then this one, I'm just putting a little bit higher. Put another little piece of, like that. I'm just putting it right on my card. Kind of higher than the linen thread. Okay, now we need dimensionals. Let's see. These should be bigger. Okay, good. We got dimensionals. We need a bunch of dimensionals on the back of here. Let's go like 1, 2, 3. We don't want a droopy banner. So we're putting them on the back of our banner, and we're popping up our banner. Like that, and we're putting it on the card. Then we can take this little, and I'm just leaving that so you can see the measurements. Then we're taking this little bit of mossy meadow, and we're taking it and we're stretching it out like that. Right? And fraying the end of it because it's fall, and fall is rustic. And that kind of goes along with that theme, right? Rustic harvest. And the color goes along. Look at the way the mossy meadow catches the mossy meadow in the top of the pumpkin. The way the Cajun craze catches the pumpkins. The same colors, right? Cajun craze, Cajun craze, Cajun craze. Crushed curry, crushed curry. Copper looks like Cajun craze. So you have like a coordination thing going on. Now let's start embellishing with our little fun stickers that we made. So these little stickers just come apart. And I think we'll go do 3 of these. We're going to go, I made 3 of these into little stickers. Now you can use this thing called a take your pick tool to try to get the back of these off. But in my videos, I just tend to just grab my fingers and try it. And if one side of the sticker don't work, you just try the other side of the sticker. So remember, we put sticker material. So what I'm trying to do, I don't want you to have to use glue. I'm going to try to use the sticker material. Okay, when in doubt, just grab another one. Can't be that hard. Earlier it wasn't. Okay, there we go. So there we go. We have, this stuff pulls off, right? And because we had double-sided sticker material, we made it using the adhesive sheets. Boom. Boom. We have little curly cues that go on our card. Isn't that fun? They jazz up your card. I'm still trying to make these into sticker. The struggle is real. All right, here we go. I think I might only need 2 of these because they're so big. Because earlier I did make 3, but it's because I ripped it and I turned it into 3. I actually had 2 on this one because I'll save the other one for our other little diaper fold treat. And there's still more. It's like, and there's more. We need our little amber thingies from before. And you can see how I added those. 1, 2, 3. I like to do these in 3s. So we'll put 1 down here. Put a big one down there. We'll put a little one right there. And we'll put another, we'll put a little one up here right in the center. So we have some bling, and that's how we do our card. Okay, so you just learned the heat embossing technique, which really steps up your game when you're making cards, because you see that. So let's take our hello that we made earlier and turn that into a little diaper fold. And that'll just take a minute because it's already cut. So for your diaper fold, we already have that all made. Pretty much all made. We're going to just take this little piece that we already have of. So what I'm showing you right now is that we have a 6x6 piece of paper. And we're just turning it into one of these little diaper folds. We've already done the bow. Well, here's the bow. We can use this one. We've already done it. All we're doing is folding this piece of paper and making a little diaper fold to put our little tea inside of. Okay, our little tea bag. So you're going to take your little edge of your trimmer or edge of your Simply Scored. You're just taking something with a corner edge. Here, maybe we'll turn that. Something that has a corner. take your 6x6 piece of paper and you're going to, if you want this side, these cornucopia thingies and all the squashes, if you want this side showing, then you fold it. You're making a triangle, but you're folding it so that the pattern that you don't want to show as much is on the inside. Take a little spatula. I'm just using a Pampered Chef scraping stone, okay? And I'm just flattening it out, burnishing the edges. Put the triangle pointing upwards. Fold left. Fold right. Like that. And then you're going to fold down. And that is your diaper fold. And you're going to just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle till it's all straight. When I mean straight, this little part's hidden under there. Pinch the edges. Flat, flat, flat. I have other videos on just doing diaper folds alone. This is just a little extra bonus for this project, and that's it. Open it back up. A little bit of Seal Plus. A little bit of Seal Plus there. A little bit more there. It's coming off its tracks. Ripping the paper. Come on, get back on track. Not the time, Seal Plus. We don't have time. Okay, for you to be playing games with me, and there you go. I had to rob Peter to pay Paul here because I didn't have any more tea bags that matched. So I took some out that I had made with this recent celebration paper that was free during celebration, and that's over now. It was called Rings of Love. Pretty cool paper. I hope you guys stocked up on that. So I'm putting the tea bag in there. Oh, look, it even ripped a little. And I'm just going to show you now that you put this little guy on there like that. And you put a little leaf. You put this under there like that, this little curly thingy. And that cute little leaf that we did like this, under there like that. And you can see how that comes out. So that's your little diaper fold treat. Just give someone a Ghirardelli chocolate square or a tea bag. So that was part one, and I have another little surprise at the end of part one. I wanted to show you something else I made with this technique that you just saw. So let's do that. And let me see if anyone else has come in. So thank you, Linda. Hello, Jan. Hello, Deborah. Deborah's reported all the trolls. Thank you. Now, some people keep asking, why don't I just make it so only subscribers can comment? Well, I tried and it didn't work. It just didn't let me. I either couldn't like lock off comments or I could keep them on. I couldn't find a place where only subscribers could comment. I'm still looking. But anyway, I want anyone to be able to comment, but then you end up with trolls. Okay, last card I want to show you is this card I made with the embossing technique. So for this card, I used the same exact thing that you just learned. It was called Wishing You the Loveliest Day with copper, and I did it with black, but I didn't use this for my tutorial because this type of black, if you can see the glitter in it, is a retired black, and I want to show you just now like my little extra tools, which I'll be showing you throughout the series. So I didn't want to overwhelm you at the beginning, but I'm going to show you now. Dun, dun, dun. This is my embossing little kit here. I keep extra versamark in there. And when I want to add versamark to this stamp set, I keep extra little tools in here. Little spatulas and things. Extra embossing buddy. Versamark refill. Another versamark refill. Q-tips. Okay, so if you go to like say a store where you, there's a little piece of grass in there. Like, I don't know, like Body Shop, like they let you try on the little lip gloss and then you have to throw away your little lip gloss thing, right? In a mall, just save your little spatula because you can use it to help put Versamark on your thing, which we'll do one day. Anyway, back to that glitter, the retired one I used for that card. Here, this one. It was called, it's glittery. That's why it's called Shimmer Black. Now, we don't have Shimmer Black, but you can make your own Shimmer Black with, with glitter and or with the shimmer white and the black, or with the white and the black and some glitter. But you can see the glitter in there. And then I did Wink Stella on my pumpkin. You can see that. And then I did copper on the leaves. So this technique here is coloring the paper. So I want to show you before and after. And we'll do this card similar, but we'll make a 3D pumpkin. We'll do something similar in this series where we color this paper as our card background. And we make a 3D pumpkin instead of making like this flat pumpkin. But that's just the technique for this card. So this card is the same as that card, except I used pumpkin pie instead of crushed cherry. I made it horizontal instead of vertical. I mean, it's a very similar card, okay? So hope you enjoyed this tutorial. and will join me along for this journey. Now, if you want to get any of these materials to follow along throughout this series through the month of September and beyond, please use the link at my Stampin' Up store, paperchef.stampinup.net. We check out the weekly deals during the month of September. Check out the card making day information because you can get a free pack of pearls with a special bundle. Just check out all the stuff in my newsletter too. If you're not part of my newsletter, it lets you subscribe when you get there. Thank you all for watching. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day.